My name is Linda Kimball. I'm the Executive Director for Cleveland Motab. I want to once again thank Shirley Brill, who's the director and founder of Educating Minorities About Transplants. A couple of months ago, she called me up and said that she wanted to partner with me here at Cleveland, Ohio, and she's in Florida, to actually kind of raise awareness about kidney disease. So this series is shining the light on kidney disease. And one of the decisions that she wanted me to make was who was I going to actually kind of reach out to be guests on this series. And I made a decision. One of the guests I wanted to make sure that I wanted to invite was Fatima Woods. I've known her for a couple of years, and I know about her journey of receiving a kidney transplant. And when I originally talked to her during about being a part of our National Minority Donor Awareness Month event at that I partnered with at the library in Warrensville Heights Library, I did not know that she had received her kidney. And to my surprise, when I sent the text and I said, "Would you like to be a part of our event that we have every year?" Because she had actually attended last year's, she said, "I received a kidney." And I was so excited about it. I called her immediately. I was like, this does not deserve just a text for me to say congratulations. I called her and I was like so excited. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited for you. And of course, she was excited. I think she was still in the hospital. So that was such a thrill to talk to her about that. And so we have here today, we have Fatima Woods here today to talk about her journey in receiving a kidney transplant. And this is just going to be a conversation between two friends. Fatima is in the process of having her family reunion and everything. So we are so thankful that she took some time out of her busy schedule. And I think this is probably some time for her to actually just kind of sit down and kind of breathe a sigh of relief while she's cooking, while she's preparing, and while she's doing all things, getting prepared for seeing all of her family and everything. So, like I said before, this is just going to be a time for us to talk about her journey and receiving her kidney, but also a time for her to give some advice to people who still have, are waiting for that kidney transplant, and also the journey with kidney disease. So, first of all, I just want to thank you once again, and just give you a chance, Fatima, to tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you like to do? Um, what have you been doing with your life for these many years not many years, I'm not saying you're 70 years old, Fatima, the years that you've been on this earth and everything. And then I'll just give you some questions and we'll just go like I'm saying, like I said before, that we're two friends talking about your journey.
All right. So I'm Fatima Woods. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio all my life. I worked at university hospitals for over several years. I left university hospitals, stepping out on faith, started my own business. So I started my own home health agency in 2017, 18. Um, 2020, I thought I was going to be able to explore the world. So I was going to take a break of just working because I've always been a hard worker. Ever since I was in high school, ever since I could get the work permit, I've been working. So about 14, I've been working. And I wanted to just explore the world. But of course, 2020 happened. We had the big pandemic, and big pandemic mean the whole world stopped. But as the whole world stopped, my world stopped, personal world stopped as well. Um, I became in renal failure in February 14th of 2020. Well, they didn't really call it renal failure at the time until I got my second opinion of renal failure. Um, my second opinion was at University of Hoosier University Hospitals. Got a second opinion because I was still feeling ill and sick. And then I began my journey of um, being on dialysis in June, and a new life started, a different life started from my busy life of being on dialysis and trying to just put that in my busy schedule and make that my main priority of dialysis.
When you found out and you were diagnosed with the kidney disease, what were your first thoughts? I mean, How did you feel? How did you truly feel?
Okay, so how I truly feel as I sat in the hospital, they told me I remember the day it was like a Saturday. The doctor comes in. It was like the attendant comes in and say, Ms. Woods, no, you have stage 5 kidney disease, and my the big doctor is going to come in on Monday. So Monday happened. So when he finally confirmed it again, I have stage 5 renal failure. I guess my thoughts, and I don't say I guess, I know my thoughts was all over the place because of course, the first thing you think you're gonna die. Like I'm not gonna have a couple of years to live, or maybe 6 months to years. And then I thought about it. Well, I got faith, so I'm not gonna die. And then I was thinking about like, okay, my life is just gonna change. I'm not gonna be able to drive. I don't know why I was thinking like I'm not gonna be able to drive. I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'm not gonna be able to do. I was just thinking all out the box of things I was not able gonna be able to do. So I guess I had a human process thought. You think about all the negative stuff. You don't need to think about positive, positive, positive. You think about being, oh, I'm gonna die, or just just depressed, more depressed. And then I was young. I was 34 at the time, 34 going on 35. I had turned 30. No, I was 34, turned 34, and I thought my life was over. And I worked in the medical field all my life, all mostly all my life. So I mean, I had to start encouraging myself, like, Fatima, you're gonna be all right. Fatima, you're gonna be all right. But it was hard at the beginning. It was very hard because, like I said, it was a human. I'm human. We all human. So my faith was low, but I still believed. Um, I just my process was just, the first thing was I'm gonna die. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
yeah.
all I can say.
Now, one of the things that you said was a human process, and you kind of had to talk yourself into getting better and being more positive. How did your family support you doing dialysis?
My family was so supportive. Let me start off with my fiance, he was supportive. My mom, my dad, he passed away in August, but he had knew like Fatima, I think you got stage 5 kidney disease. And so he was like, in and out. My cousins, my grandmother was even like, it was a lot of people that was supportive that's not even here today that passed away, that's gone now. But my aunt, she passed away. Everybody was so supportive. Like, Tim, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna get your kidney. Even my fiance father, um, he was like, she's gonna be okay. She's gonna be able to drive again. She's gonna be all right. Just follow the steps because he's a dialysis nurse. Um, so I had a lot of good support around me, not out of the community, but my family was very supportive, very, very supportive.
And that's really important and everything. Besides having support in your in a dialysis center, if you are doing dialysis inside in the center and everything. Um, so I have a question for you. How often was your dialysis treatment, and how did you receive your treatment? Was it in center or did you do it at home, peritoneal or
So I
hemodialysis?
did hemodialysis inside the center, which was
Mm-hmm.
3 days a week. I first started off 3 days a week. I always did 3 days a week, but I started off 3 days a week, 4.5 hours. And then I begged my doctor, can you please cut it down? So, cut it down. 4.5 hours, just so long, about maybe 6 months to a year in, he did cut it down to 4 hours. So I always in the in the middle of the stage, or maybe 2 or 3 years, 2 years into dialysis, I used to call it, oh, it's just my part-time job. I gotta go to my part-time job. And my part-time job was sitting on the machine, sitting there for 4 hours. Either you watch TV, you might find the text to talk to or laugh at. You can look at your phone, watch movies, listen to music. Um, so yeah, it was hard sitting for 4 hours for me because I'm a busybody, but it was 4 hours. 4 hours, 3 days a week. So that's 12 hours in your week. So it was a part time job.
Now I know that you have a friend. Did you meet Deborah Wade during that time? Was that one of one of the things that
So
got a new network?
yes, so I've been to by then I had been to like several different dialysis centers, and I was just trying to find my home. So I was at Garfield. I started off at Garfield. I didn't really work out there, and then I ended up transferring to Oakwood, which was far, but my doctor was there, so he wanted to see me all the time. So I went back to Garfield and it just didn't work out for me because I think me and one of the nurses just couldn't click together. Not click, but just we just didn't get along. So I said, "Well, you know what, transfer me to East." So I transferred to East. I didn't meet Deborah Wade until um maybe like a year into East because I always flex my time. Like I would go early in the morning during the summer months, and then in the winter months I would go during the night time because it was just easier for me to get there instead of trying to get up early in the morning. So I think I came across Deborah Wade. I don't know. The way she tells the story, she said, I didn't know who you were because everybody just tended to you. Like you had a nice smile because I used to be so, laughable and talking to people. And she said, everybody just knew you. All the techs knew you, the nurse knew you. And she was like, I wonder who this girl is that everybody know that I haven't never met before. This is what she tells me. And then we just hit it off. I think she offered me some crackers or something that day. And I'm like, okay, I'll take them. And then next thing you know, I don't even know how a conversation striked up. Next thing you know, we was like exchanging telephone numbers and she told me about you, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to be a part of that group because I was already trying to find something to do at East, like be a. I was a patient advocate at one point in time at East, and I was just trying to do more in the community with the kidney disease and dialysis, and try to enlighten people on dialysis as well. So Deborah Way, she came into me in my life, and we've been hanging ever since.
Yeah, now you can't keep you guys apart, and which is really
Exactly.
important because both of you guys are advocates for dialysis patients, for people with kidney disease, and now you're advocate for people for with kidney transplants, which is
Yes.
really cool. Now, this is the last question about dialysis. Well, it's going to be two questions, so it's going to be twofold. How hard was it for you to stick to a diet and other strict guidelines as a dialysis patient? And very last, the second part was, how did you balance your dialysis treatment with your other activities as a dialysis patient? So, if you can answer those
I'll
two
start with
questions.
the diet. So the diet was very hard because it was like a not everything you could eat or especially drink. Like I was not like a drinker, like an alcoholic drinker, but I'm talking about drinks of like water, pop, fluids, juice, soup. I was a soup eater. You couldn't eat no soup because it had a lot of sodium in it, and then also it was a part of your liquids. Jello, every little thing you had to watch for it. And I was a hard head person. I'm not gonna say that I did good on the liquids because it seems like as they told me I couldn't do this, I wanted to do it. And I'm like, oh, I want to eat my ice. I'm gonna eat my ice. So some days I did go into dialysis as being 4 liters over and 5 liters over. And that's the negative part. That's the human part about dialysis. Some days you had to hear that from the nurse or the I know Ed especially, he used to get on me all the time about like, you need to be not drinking so much during your weeks or weekend, and even the techs as well. All they wanted for you is the well. They didn't want you to be sick, or they always just tell you like that's putting a lot of pressure on your heart. So don't try to drink much fluids during the weekend. It was just so hard for me because the more they told me no, the more I wanted to do. So a lot of change like you couldn't eat greens, collard greens, of course, or you couldn't eat a salad because it was liquids of the salad, the lettuce. So it was like everything I wanted to eat, I couldn't eat, and it was just hard. It was hard. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. It was hard. Some people do have some people do have no problems of eating things, of like just changing they diets, but I had like that part was hard. So it was just hard.
How did you balance your treatment with your other activities? Because it sounds like you're really always on the go and everything. And if you're dialyzing and everything, and you're trying to do other things, how did you balance that?
Well, I always balanced my dialysis as first priority, my dialysis schedule as first priority. So as I started dialysis, I started kind of picking back up on my business as well. And I used to tell my clients, look, I have dialysis. So either you can go this time or I'm going to be gone and I might come back. And I used to go back after dialysis. I don't know how I had the strength to even the confidence to go back to work. I used to go back to work after dialysis to take care of the elderly, and so I had a good time. I knew how to schedule. I knew once I couldn't miss no days, so I knew how to always call the social worker to change my schedule, especially if I was going out of town or if I got good with the schedulers at the dialysis center. So if I needed to change my times, I was, ask them a couple of days ahead of time, like, okay, I got an appointment, or I'm going out of town, or I just need to change my time. Or like I said, I did switch times during the winter and summer months. Like I used to go in the summer months in the morning time, so because I could have a whole day to my, whole day planned out instead of going to dialysis in the middle of the day. So I used to just always ask them to change my time, or it was very flexible. It really was. It was very, very flexible. Um, for me at the time, in some centers, they opened almost to 12 midnight. So they was able to flex my time if I needed to come at a later time. So I just, it was no problem with time for me. Like I said, if I was going out of town, even when I went out of town, I set up times at the dialysis centers out of town. I went to Alabama before. I was in Alabama. I did a couple of sessions of dialysis in Alabama, and I just, would find a center, start working on it 2 weeks in advance, 2 or 3 weeks in advance, and they'll find me some place to go, and I would have to pay, and with no problem, and it was just no problem. So time management was no problem for me.
Very good. Now, you are, it seems like you it was really important for dialysis patients and somebody with kidney disease and doing dialysis is that you're compliant and that you're getting your dialysis treatments on a regular basis and you're like the role model for that and everything. Mistreatments are really, really discouraged and everything. And it sounds like you eventually you got the diet all together and everything, even though you kind of missed some of those things and everything. So kudos to
Yeah.
you. It's very good. So the one of the exciting parts is in everything is we're going to talk about when did you receive the transplant and when you got that news, what was that like, Fatima?
So, I'm gonna tell the story again. Every Mother's Day weekend, my family and I, we go out of town to Birmingham, Alabama. So this Mother's Day, I think I didn't go last year. This year, my mom was begging me because it was my grandmother. She just had passed, so of course it was fresh. So of course I went, but I flew. My mom and my cousins drove, and I flew. I said, "Mama, just go ahead," because it was just too late for me to change my dialysis treatment and all that stuff. So I said, well, Mama, just go ahead and fly out Friday night, and I'm gonna fly back Friday Monday morning, early Monday morning, so I could get to dialysis by 12. So that plan happened. Monday, I got to Chicago about 10 o'clock. We got home. No, I got home actually about 10 o'clock. Back to Cleveland. Got home. Went to dialysis at 12 o'clock. I was supposed to be on the chair. I had just so called, I just that Friday, I had changed my schedule to 6 a.m. to get summertime treatment. 6 a.m. My new schedule was going to start on that Wednesday. So Monday, I go in, I walk in, and I could just remember this as yesterday. I walk in, and I was having a human moment. Like I was like, I had to cut my vacation time because I had to come back to this place, and I'm just so tired of this. And I can remember the tech Ari telling me, this was that CDC shaker, Ari telling me, she told me, she said, Fatima, don't give up. Your kidney coming soon. And I'm like, well, I'm not giving up. I'm just having a moment. Like I just want to complain. Like I'm tired of coming to dialysis when I'm on vacation. So I got in the chair. I think I fell asleep. And it was next thing you know, it was about 5 o'clock. And I got home. I ate. I drank some water because I had been traveling all day, so I was really hungry. I ate, drank, and I ate something that I shouldn't have ate because I could feel the fluid was already back on me already. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have ate that. So the day goes on. I'm taking my night medicine, and my mom, they get back home about 9 o'clock ish. So we on the phone. She's telling me about how the road trip was and stuff like that. So I get this weird call from New York, and it says wireless New York call. So I say, I know telemarketers are not calling at 9 o'clock at night. Like, you know how you get these random calls. So first in my head, I was gonna answer the call. Now I was gonna answer the call, but I always sleep with my phone next to me because I always expect a call in the middle of the night that you're gonna get a transplant. So I said, let me answer this call. I said, Mom, hold on, let me answer this call. Let me just see who it is. So the lady, she gets on the phone. She says, is this Mr. Woods? I said, yes. And she got to talking, but she talked so fast. I was like, no, I don't want it. And she said, no, 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 no. This is the kidney transplant center, and I'm calling you from New York, and I'm letting you know that we have a kidney available for you. The family wanted to be anonymous. The person wanted to be anonymous, so of course I didn't ever know who my donor was. But she was like, you were on the bottom of the list, but everything matched out with is going matching with you. This person was supposed Another person was supposed to get the kidney, but it just didn't work out for them. And we was wanting to know how long can you get to the hospital. I said, what? Like, can you repeat this one more time? And then she said, she go through it again. And I told her I could be there in 10 minutes. She started laughing and say, Miss Woods, you can get there at 11:30. I said, okay. So as I got off the phone with her, I'm like in the shower, but I'm calling people at the same time. Like mine, they just called me for my kidney. She calls people calling me. I'm trying to get in the shower so I can get myself together. And it was just like, and I didn't want to be too excited because I know I have heard of stories of people they'll get excited and then they'll send you. Deborah Wade actually had this problem. She had got a first call. She told people she was getting a kidney, and then next thing you know, they denied her. They sent her back home. So I was like, I didn't want to get too excited. I'm just gonna go to the hospital and see how this is. So I was so excited, my anxiety was so high. I even freaked out on the table. So when I got to the hospital, uh, they tried to get the IV in me. Of course, I only got one arm of a vein, of veins in my one arm because I got a graft in my other arm. So they couldn't get the IV in, but they was like, "Oh, we're gonna get you an IV because once you get on the table, you're gonna get an IV." So I'm telling them like I need something to relax my nerves. Like y'all need to calm me down. And they're like, "No, Miss Wiz, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay." So I think I wanted to wash up again. Like I was just so nervous. My fiance, he went over in the corner and fell asleep. I'm wide awake. Like I couldn't relax. I couldn't go to sleep. No nothing. So about 3:30 that morning, they came and got me. And next thing you know, I was going in the operating room, and I just, it was just I was excited. I was nervous. I was all over the place because I didn't know. It was like a big dream, and it's still like a big dream right now. I can't believe that I'm still in this moment of talking about I have a kidney now and I'm not going to dialysis, and it's just a big dream still. So as I got the kidney, I woke up about 10:30 that morning. I was done with the kidney and I had to get dialyzed for 2 hours. My potassium was real high. So they dialyzed me while I was in the hospital for 2 hours before I could get to my room. Got to my room, and I've been moving ever since. I
Very
wanted
good.
to get up. Yeah, I wanted to get up. They was like, "You want to get up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready to get up. Let's get up." And I got up and um, walked around, and I've been moving ever since.
Moving ever since and getting ready for a family reunion and a big part of that family reunion also. So you waited for how long were you on the waiting list again?
I was on a waiting list for 3.5 years, and I would have been on dialysis 4 years. 20 June of 13th of 2024, I would have been on there 4 years, but I was on the waiting list for 3.5 years. It would be December of 2024. I would have been a half, the 3.5 years.
And what's the date of your transplant? May what's the
May 15th.
May 15th?
So
So
I
that's
got a call for May 14th at night, and May 15th, I was in the operating room at like
it.
4 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m.
So how long were you in the actual hospital after your
For
discovery?
7 days, seven
For some,
days,
mhm.
like Tuesday to Tuesday or Tuesday to Monday. So maybe 7 to 6 days.
And when did you start to like your everyday activities? I know it sounded like you wanted to get out of the bed right then and there, but when did they say you can like start, driving, start your everyday activities and everything? When did you start doing all of those, Fatima?
So I got my privilege to drive probably probably July. So probably a month after I was able to start driving back. So it was weird because I've not been driving for what, like a whole month, almost 2 months. And so the day I dropped my mom off because she had my car because she was coming over here taking care of me. I used to tell her, "Mom, you can go home. I'm perfectly fine. I get up and warm me up some soup or something like that." Because I'm so independent. It was just hard for me to to have somebody take care of me. But my mom was right there. My fiance was right there. Everybody was right there. When I needed them, and if I didn't need them, they were still there. So I started to drive I think July 15th. I was able to get my privileges back. So it was so weird for me to drive. Like, oh wow, I could drive now. I felt like a new kid driving again. And then I was able to start back working like real soon. No, maybe I think it was still in June because I started back work like June 28th. I went back to work. So it probably was in the middle of June. I was back driving, and then I was able to go back to doing my little clients. Long as I wasn't lifting anything that was over 10 pounds, the doctor cleared me. So I've been doing that ever since.
Very good, very good. No, nothing's going to keep you down, Fatima. What would you tell someone who's waiting for kidney transplant and living with kidney disease?
Just keep fighting. Hold on. We're all human, so we go through ups and downs. You're gonna go through ups and downs, and that's just a normal thing to do. Some days you want to be discouraged, some days you're going to be encouraged. You just have to encourage yourself to keep moving and keep fighting, and think about your family, and maybe you don't have that support system, you have to encourage yourself. But if you do, fight for your family because they're fighting for you. Um, so just keep encouraging yourself and um, talk to the people at your dialysis center and network a little bit and then support all around you. You just have to communicate with people.
I've been privileged to be able to meet both your mother and your fiance, and I can see who's supported you throughout your journey and everything. If there has been anything that you can say to them, because I'm sure that they're going to watch this because we're going to put this on not only our platform, our social media. What would you say about them supporting you throughout not only you having kidney disease, but also throughout your wait for your kidney transplant? What would you say to them?
Oh, thank you. Without them, I wouldn't be like, I probably would have been more depressed than anything. Um, but I want to just say thank you to the both of them, especially my fiance, because he was here through the thick and thin. My mom was too, but my fiance, he stayed with me. So the days that I was really, really sick, the days before I started dialysis, um, we didn't know what was going on with me. I mean, I couldn't keep anything down. And he used to be trying to, you need to eat, you need to drink. I just couldn't keep anything down. He was there for me. Um, just thank you. And I love them so much. And it's not only, like I said, my fiance and my mom, which they was there, you know, it was my family, period. I lost a lot of people that was there with me while I was going through my journey. my aunt who passed away in 21, my dad who passed away in 2020, my grandmother who just passed away in 23. They was all there with me while I was going through this. It was a struggle. It was a struggle, but I thank them all for just, giving me the words of encouragement and saying that everything was gonna be all right. And it was a fight because some days with Edward, it was a fight because some days I didn't want to eat what I needed to eat. And he was like, "You don't supposed to be eating that. You don't supposed to be drinking this." And I want to do what I want to do. So those days, that was the death of not listening, of me being me, not want to listen. But he told me, "You got to do this. You got to do that." My dad said you can't be doing this, and all right, I'm gonna tell him, and I hear it at the end. You don't supposed to be doing this. So I think all my family members just giving me the encouragement and the eager to fight even more. My mom and Edward, my fiance, to keep fighting, and I thank them and I love them from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. That's very sweet. That's very sweet. So I would not, it would be remiss if I don't mention that one of the reasons why we're in existence, our organization, Cleveland Motap Minority Organ Tissue Transplant Education Program, and also EMAT, also is because it's important for us to educate people about transplants, but also about organ donation. What is your thoughts about the importance of organ donation in our community, especially in communities of color with African Americans, about people signing up to become organ donors? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think that you should sign up for organ donation. Um, we always, I don't know why we have, maybe because of slavery time or what post stuff did to us, that we're very like, oh, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do that. Oh, I want my baby to have her eyes when she die, or stuff like that. But why do we need this stuff when people can use it and can live on for life? Why do we want to carry our stuff on? We just a soul anyway. So why do we need this? If God created um us to have this and can help somebody else out, why not help someone else out? So it's very important to donate. And so I think you should want to sign up for organ donation. And you can always sign up through the BMV. And I'm an advocate now. Like, I know that you should be a organ donor.
Very good. Thank you so much. Like I said before, this was just a conversation between two friends, and we truly do have a true advocate in Fatima Woods in talking about kidney disease, but also organ eye and tissue donation. And we are drawing to a real close to the end of this month, which is National Minority Donor Awareness Month. And we were just really, truly blessed to have Fatima Woods talk about her journey. And like I said before, when I saw that text from Fatima and she said that she received her donation of an organ, I was so excited. I just had to give her a call and find out what was
You
happening
did.
with her and everything. And when she actually joined us at the library, that we had our one celebration for National Minority Donor Awareness Month, and I finally met her mother. I had met her fiance before. It was just truly, truly a blessing to meet them because, as she said, they have been a really good support system and everything. And we will be working with each other for the rest of the years that we know each other, because she knows the story and she knows the reason why we do what we do here at Cleveland Motep. But I once again want to thank Shirley Brill, who is the founder and the executive director and president at EMAT, for allowing this platform to tell people about the importance of us talking about kidney disease, especially in minority communities, but also about organ eye and tissue donation, the importance of signing up to become an organ donor. So if you're not already a organ donor, please consider becoming an organ donor. And thanks again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And
Thank you.
have a wonderful family reunion. And I'm serious. I'm gonna come and get that plate.
You sure can. Trust me. You
Thank
really can.